Stick Henry in the middle, please. Henry, I apologize. My computer shit the bed right before we started, so I look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but I'm here. We're doing a show. Right, Henry. I mean, where do we begin? Right, I'm going to give you, I'll let you take the floor. I'm sure you've seen, there's all kinds of narratives and stuff like that. There's a lot of people saying that you were quitting and looking for a way out, etc., etc. We saw the video that you posted yesterday that I looked a really bad mess. We've had a few fighters on. We've all asked them. Said, if you get a bad eye poke, you can't continue. Take it away, Henry.
Yeah, and you know what, dude? Honestly, Bisping, I can be one of those guys. So I understand it. I watched the fight yesterday, and I can see why or where people would say something like that. Because, man, I'm going to tell you, man, I'm guilty of it. Oh, he's a pussy. Oh, he needs to man up. The whole nine. But I think is the angle where he caught me is where it really went. If you could notice right now, dude, like this is days later, man. Like I'm still, the fact that I could open my eye, Bisping, is one thing. I think the thing that really kind of threw me off was the fact that I was seeing double. So then when Song came at me at that time, just like, man, what the fuck am I going to do? Just aim for the middle? You know what I'm saying? And then they were telling, no, and then so that happened, and I can see where people kind of took it that way because I'm smiling, but I'm thinking as a competitor, dude, I've wrestled my whole life. I get hit in the balls, eyes, whatever. Just give me time to kind of come back. So when I was on the cage, I was like, dude, you guys, I'm gonna fight, dude. Just give me some time. Like, give me some time for this eyesight to come back. And I did not think it was gonna get this long, Bisping, and apparently it did, man. Even till now, like I'm still seeing blurry. We went to the ophthalmologist today, and she said, you are lucky that he happened to get you on the white part of your eye, because if he would have hit you in the inside, he's like, Henry, you would have been blind. And if there's anybody who understands this game, Bisping, is you, man. And I think the reason why I even wanted to do this interview too with you is just because I feel like you should be an advocate for this shit. you know, of having replays, and because the referees do sometimes, there's a lot of people that, like, they get gun shy, whatever that may be. It's like they just don't know, and I get it. Or even the doctor that came in, he never really tested me, Bisping. When he asked me, he's like, hey, I don't even know what he asked me. He's like, dude, I'm seeing 4 eyes. I see 2 of you right now. And the dude's just like, and the doctor, again, he doesn't want to stop the fire. He doesn't want to do anything. But when he asked me, he was like, I see double. I see 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can clearly open my eye, but I see 2. And
it's a really tricky one, because at that moment in time, I know from the fighter's perspective, from your perspective, from 99 times out of 100, we want the fight to carry on, right? But if the doctor and the referee, as good as Jason Herzog is, had done their job a little bit better, the third round wouldn't have continued, and it wouldn't have gone to the judges' scorecards. And if it did go to the judges' scorecards and a point was deducted when it should have been, it would have at least been a draw. Now, as you say, the eye poke, I mean, seeing double, I remember when I was seeing double, and the only way eventually the double went away was because my eye stopped working. Don't worry, you're not going to have that. I had a detached retina, then it redetached, and I got glaucoma. But there's no question, Henry. I mean, we were talking on the show and we were being honest, and and you can watch the show back. I thought you were being a veteran, taking the 5 minutes, and rightly so. Why wouldn't you do that? That's a perk. But then when the fight started and you weren't actually throwing, I'm like, hold on a minute. Something's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think Paul even said it good, because I watched it yesterday. He's like, all right, man, this is what Henry's doing. And of course, man, to me, I'm a better competitor than I'm a fighter. I figured, all right, man, that's why I asked the doctor, how much time do I have left on the round? Like, I'm literally saying to calculate, all right, man, I'm gonna be on rollerblades here for a minute. I'm just gonna skate my way through the round, give him the round, and then come back. But then one Song, the last thing you want to do with an explosive fighter with Song is give him time. So even the times that he did hit me in the balls a couple times, I'm like, keep it going, dude. Like, he hit me, but I can suck it up. You know what I'm saying? because the last thing I want to do is give this dude a break. A guy just will load and punch like a maniac. So when I did go back, I had already calculated. All right, man. That's why I kept seeing this. And if anybody knows Bisping, is you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the rallying of the eye, and I decided to go back. All right, minute and 16 seconds. I didn't get hit. I'm just like, my vision isn't coming back. So then I wasn't gonna play the guessing game. Yeah. And I just wasn't, man, because it's like I don't even now that I see you guys, like it's blurry, like there's like I got the screen here and then there's another screen like this.
It's that's insane, and you can't fight like that. And I guess I just asked my wife to turn a light on because I was getting shadows on me, but I look like shit. I apologize. Because we want to continue. So you went out, you had that final minute, and then was it like, hold on a minute, this is stupid. I can't continue. I want to, but I'm seeing double. So that's why you were adamant, like, get the doctor, never mind this shit. I'm hurt. I'm seeing multiple versions of Song Yadong. This is over, right?
Yeah, no, exactly, dude. So I think once I tried that minute and 16 and he was coming at me, he was pretty aggressive too. I don't think he really caught anything. But then again, he came back and started fighting like this.
Bro, hold on.
I'm like, what the?
Can we talk about that, Henry? Because one of the things that frustrated us, especially on the commentary side, is, okay, the point didn't get taken. Probably should have, right? A really bad eye poke. There would have been another foul. And we're kind of all getting to the point where, like, this shit has to stop, right? Something has to be put in place to stop guys from sticking their fingers out. But then to get the eye poke that you had, and to then have your opponent come out with a straight hand, fingers facing you, were you like, why don't we just stop it right there and take the point now at least? Because then it's like you didn't listen to anything that was warned to you. If you're warning the fighter, hey, watch the eye pokes, the last thing you expect him to do is come out and literally point. That's where I got really frustrated for you. Was like, man, like, that's bullshit. You can't do that anyway. And to come out and do it after he poked you was kind of, I don't want to say he did it on purpose. It was a little shady.
No, that's exactly what it is. Shady, man. That's exactly what it is. I think Jim Miller did a good little commentate on this. It has shit to do with the gloves. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just keep your hands in. Your hand. And then the other thing too, guys, I'm curious if you guys can, Bisping, Paul, I would love for you guys to bring in Jason Herzog, because back in the meeting, like in the back, they always say you cannot extend your fingers or I'm going to take a point. It's like, I'm like, man, like there should not be a warning. It's like basketball, dude. If you're playing basketball and you foul, you didn't intend to, and then you made the shot, well, guess what? It's still a fucking technical foul. Like, why don't we have that in fighting? And the reality is, Bisping, like, honestly, dude, like, I think because of your situation, and man, I feel for you, bro. Like, and it meant a lot for me that the fact that you came out in the back and just to kind of check. I was like, dude, like, you don't think things like this could happen to somebody until it does. Yeah. And I feel like for you, Michael, I think I would because of your situation, dude, I would love to help regulate these rules to where, dude, no more warnings, man. Like, and particularly with the eyes, like replays, allow these refs to take their time and be like, all right, dude, that's 1 point. I mean, there's always going to be warnings, but when does that stuff, like, when does it stop, dude?
Yeah. So I was talking to Mark Goddard about just this kind of thing recently. And one thing he suggested, because I say fingers out like that, of course, don't allow it. You can make a fist. You can open it to parry a jab at a fraction of a second. So don't give me this bullshit. Make a fist. And it ain't the gloves. Jim Miller did a video that you were talking about saying, look, the fingers are not restricted. The gloves go up to a little bit on the forward knuckle, right? So it's not the gloves at all. It's a conscious decision. And going back, and I'm not trying to rip on Song, but what Song was doing, when the hands are out like that, I remember when I was wrestling, because obviously wrestling is a little bit more alien to me than what it obviously is for you, Henry. But when people had the fingers out like that, I was like, how can I shoot in? I'm going to get poked in the eye. Yeah. And you've just had a double eye poke. You can't see. You're an Olympic gold medalist wrestler. and he's doing that at you. I couldn't believe it. I think there needs to be a rule where a fist needs to be made. If there is an accidental eye poke, it's half a point deducted straight away. And then if it happens again, then you lose a point. But at least there is definitely some consequence irrevocably. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I 100% agreed. I think my vision of, no pun intended, but my vision of MMA now, it changes a little bit because it's dangerous. The concussions, like, of course, all that stuff, the broken nose, the broken hand, my labrum, because I've broken all that, and I've competed like that, and Dana knows that. But the eyesight, dude, with one stupid ass little mistake, and that's, I mean, I can only put myself in your shoes, Michael. Yeah. Like these last couple days, I'm just like, I can't play with my kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I signed a document today where I completely missed the black line. Like it's very unfortunate. But I also feel like Jason Herzog does need to be held accountable for something like this. If you're a veteran of the game, dude, and you know and you understand the game, and then the dude started the round like that again, dude. As Paul just said, that should automatically be a point deduction. But luckily, when he did come and we're actually fighting, I really couldn't see what he was doing. I was just running and survive running. All right, keep my hands up. Let me see what happens. Let me see if I can get some more time to let my eyesight come back.
So let me first of all say, Henry, you're going to be okay. I mean, you've been seen by an ophthalmologist, so I've been there. It'll take a few days, and hopefully you'll make a full recovery. I loved that Song said to run it back. I know that you said that as well. I know that Dana didn't really feel like he didn't really show too much excitement for that. Where are you now? Because this is a really disappointing scenario for you, regardless of the eye poke. Just you come back, you want to make one last run. You have this situation. I mean, what's going through your mind now?
Yeah, no, I honestly, Bisping, at this point, dude, and this is just coming out of me. And I talked to my wife about it today. I was like, listen, man, I just want one last fight. Like, I want to leave this sport unscathed at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, dude, I don't want to be in the situation where I lose an eye or something crazy happens. Would I love to run it back with Song 100%? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why we had even predicted, like, dude, this dude starts slowing down as the rounds go later. The last thing we want to do is give this guy a 5-minute break, dude. I didn't need it. I really didn't, dude, but I had to take it because, dude, I'm not fighting with the glitch eye, which I did, but I would love to run it back with him. But if I can run it back with him, I know Jan said that May is open. I'd love that fight with Peter Yan. You know what I'm saying? We can scrap it out. If my eye is going to get better, I'll be ready by May. The Song's already had a shot at Peter Yan. Give me Peter Yan, dude. Like, I want the toughest and the greatest matches so I can get back to the title. But again, dude, like, and that could just be my last fight. Like, I just want to fight one last time, whether I win, lose, or draw, dude. I just want to be able to finish a fight. And then to get back to Dana's, like, man, it's a bit disappointing. But I could also see Dana's side, dude, because again, I could open my eye, I could see you guys, but I could just see two. You know what I'm saying? And I wish sometimes that Dana would just, put away his promoter hat and be a fighter. And that's the beauty of being a fighter, is we know what we've gone through. Dana White, I love you, man, but you have never fought before. I don't even know if you've ever been poked in the eye. But whatever, man, when something like that seriously happens to you, then you'll see it a little bit different. And again, Bisping, I want to apologize to everybody that's ever been eye poked or kicked in the balls that I have judged, because you just never know, man. And I think, and then sometimes you got to eat your own humble pie. And I'm here to say, dude, I got God. I'm sorry, guys, because I do talk a lot of shit. And I did not want a way out, but if we do it right, let's run it back, and let's run it back with Song, and let's run it back ASAP, dude. I'll be ready in the next couple of months. I just got to let this thing heal, and I think we'll be good. But if I don't get Song, I would love to fight. I would love a fight against Peter Yan.
Well, just on the eye thing, obviously I've got a lot of experience. I had about 5 surgeries on the eye, lost the vision in it completely, kept it quiet, told a lot of lies, was able to still fight for God knows how many years. And I was always like, well, lightning struck, like people don't really lose eyes in fighting. You know what I mean? You hear about it sometimes. I'm like, well, lightning's already struck. Lightning isn't going to strike twice, because everyone was like, what are you doing? You're going to go blind? You're going to go blind if anything happens to your good eye. I'm like, yeah, well, the lightning isn't going to strike twice. So I continued. And then, of course, I started having issues with my good eye.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why I was tired. I was like, fuck this, I'm done. I'm done. I started having all the same shit that you're going through. I started having it on my good eye. I was like, oh, fuck. And then, somebody said to me, do you not want to see your kids grow up? Do you don't want to see what they look like when they're older? Yeah. And all that type of stuff. You start thinking about being blind. I remember when I fought Dan Henderson the second time, and he fractured the orbital on the good eye, and it swelled up so much it went blind. And my coach, I couldn't see, and I was wandering around out the shower naked after the fight. And he's like, I'm walking into the walls, and he's helping me get dressed and stuff because I literally couldn't see. Yeah. Anyway.
Definitely the things that people that aren't involved in the sport definitely don't ever really get to see the behind the scenes and the repercussions of what goes on in there. I broke this orbital a bunch of times, and Dan Hooker broke it really bad in that fight. And for that round, Henry, I had the same thing. He was just split into multiples. And same thing, you got a dangerous striker in front of him, and you're thinking, oh, me, man. But luckily, when I went back to the corner and they put the end swell, and whatever must have gotten like jammed up in there, it kind of settled back down, and I could see again, which is why I was able to continue. But otherwise, I couldn't imagine if I had to do, because it was the first round, I would have had 4 more rounds where I literally was seeing multiple opponents. So I know I know how bad that is to be in there and think, okay, literally you see multiple of them. You're like, I don't even know which is the real one.
Yeah, no, for sure. But honestly, dude, I think what would be good, man, is for you guys to get Jason Herzog on the deal, and then maybe even a doctor, maybe even that doctor. And I think the biggest thing, business, what we can take out of this is like, how can us as fighters create? And again, dude, it's not like Song's a sweetheart, bro. Like, when you do a face off and you see somebody's beautiful eyes, like I can tell you, like he's I can tell he's a sweetheart, dude. Like there's a pureness to him. You know what I'm saying? That I was able to see. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he necessarily did it intentional, but still, he was still having his fingers out there. Yeah. And I feel like, how is it that we as fighters can make these rules a little bit better to where maybe we create a board to where maybe some of this stuff could really kind of take place, where replays, where take some shit from basketball, dude.
They have
travel, it's a foul, dude.
They have what they call the review official. So they have instant replay only for the review official, which is basically one of the referees that
where the was he at?
No, I know. And they've got to watch it. That's why sometimes when they stop it and the referee is liaising with someone, that's the review official. And they'll ask their opinion, say, well, what do you think? And they'll say, oh, no, it was fine. It didn't. Like there was a groin shot on Saturday night that just kind of went off the side. Went to the review official. And they went, no, it was fine. It wasn't a ball shot.
I think the problem is that's there. And I think I know what you're saying, Henry, that since it is there and since we do have it, if once it's determined that, it was an egregious foul and it really did impact the fight, this is where the next rule needs to come in, where it's like, okay, then that's it. We take it away. We take the point away. The warning is in the back. He met with you. He met with Song. Here's how it's going to go. If I see the fingers extended, if I see an eye poke, there should be a point. I think that's the only way moving forward.
What was the warning, Henry?
No, the warning. What Paul's saying is 100% correct. The warning is when they go when Jason goes to the back and says,
but when he came to you in the locker room, they address certain things. That's what Paul's talking about. Yeah. What was the verbiage that he used when he was telling you about eye pokes?
Yeah, he says, "Listen, your hands cannot be out in front, or I'm going to take a point." And I'm so like, all right, like I don't do that shit. Like my hands are always up. I'm always, my hands are always to my side, or try to be. And it's just that they talk a lot of shit and they don't do anything, dude. And that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I gotta say, dude. So I'm sure Jason's a great guy too, but it's shitty on his part that they say all this, and by the time the fight goes down or something goes down, oh, take your time. Oh, you're fine. Like, man, f- you. You know what I'm saying? There goes my eye, and for that reason, I lost. You know what I'm saying? So now this dude. So for me, trying to be a warrior and then trying to come back and do all this, and now I lost to a guy that has 8 losses. You know what I'm saying? And I'm supposed to be the triple C, Bisping.
No, I totally get it, because you were trying to be a warrior. You were trying to tough it out. You did try and fight again. By the way, if he had a point deducted, it would have been a draw. There should have been a point deducted. Herzog is a great guy. He is a very conscientious referee, but they have got to be more. They've got to make the calls quicker, and they've got to be more. They've got to punish people for fouling straight away. And they will send the message. It'll get through pretty quick. And eye pokes will be almost a thing of the past. Now,
they'll stop.
They will.
But what I am surprised, what you did mention, Bisbee, is something that I did not know. I had no idea they had another referee, kind of reviewing that. That kind of pisses me off. That kind of pisses me off. That's just stupid. Then that's just not cool, man.
It's just a shame for you, Henry. I mean, obviously the loss, and given what happened, and of course that you have had, it's not an overstatement that you're one of the greatest combat sports athletes to ever live. Olympic gold medalist, 2-weight division champion. People, when that's things, they're titles, Paul, aren't they? That people can only dream of. Yeah. And then you come back
for only wet dream over.
And then this happens. So you're going to come back and go again?
Yeah, I think it depends, man. I think I want to do, if we get Yan, I would love to get Peter Yan. If we don't run it back with Song, I would love to get Yan, but I don't know where the UFC, they're probably pissed at me. Like, Dana probably thinks I bitched out, and so does Hunter. Like, they probably all think I bitched out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what I'm thinking in my mind, where I'm just like, dude, I got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. It's kind of like what you're saying, Bisbing. Like, I mean, I'll be happy to have one eye and raise them, but shit, it's better to have 2 than 1, So I don't know where I stand with the UFC on that sense, because I was the main event, and I do my best to promote fights, man. Like, I put myself out there, I do the whole 9, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing all these theatrics. I put that pressure on myself to do all that, and it's just unfortunate that this had to happen this way, and that's just not me. But at the end of the day, Paul, and Bisbee, like, I'm at peace, dude, because I know who I am. I know what I've done. I just hope that the UFC could give me, we could run it back with Song or Yan. But I think, I'm thinking about this. I think I want to leave the sport unscathed, and I would like to just fight one more time, bro. And I'm out, dude. Like, that's it. I'm out.
Dude, I hope that things get worked out. And I mean, for me, I don't care if it's Song or Yan. I'd like to see you get back in there and compete and go through the whole fight and be able to put your best out there and not have to be out there fighting with double vision, triple vision, and shit like that. So I'm glad you came on, man, and I'm glad we got to talk and see your side, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are too quick to judge because they don't know the situation. They don't know how bad it is. So to have you come on and kind of explain it.
And if I could say something too, Paul, I was very calm when it happened, because I figured, all right, man, I got poked. I can open my eye, like, I'm calm. Like, it's going to come back, or I could. And my wife was like, hey, you probably should have acted. We probably should have been a little more dramatic. So people would be like, oh shit, like, roll, like, be a Neymar. Like in soccer, start rolling like a.
Or you could have done the Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport.
Yeah. I could have.
That would have been epic.
That would have been so Henry Cejudo if you did that.
I'm a hell of an actor too. I just did a movie with Vinny Chase and Adrian Grenier in Texas here, so they like my acting skills, but I just felt like,
oh, we got 3 actors right here. We got to get our own thing going on here, man. Exactly. Come on, that would be epic.
MMA spoof thing. Yeah, we're all good actors. You know,
Come
we'll come
on.
up with a little script like in a gym, like, I don't know. We could do that. We could do that. Come up with a little thing. We know enough guys that could film it for us and whatnot. I know some directors. Oh, come on, we're doing it. We're doing it.
No, but for sure. But since what do you think, Bisbee? Before we take off here, I'm very curious about you, who has been in that situation, who has literally, man, you lost an eye because of this.
Yeah.
Like, sure, can you would there? Oh shit.
Yeah. There you go.
You and you're a magician now, huh?
Yeah. Well.
Oh, there it is.
A man of many talents.
It hasn't been out in a while.
You know.
Yeah, but you know, I'm curious to see if there's something where you can have of a say or an influence with the UFC to say, hey man, this is how you should treat it, man, as a fighter, because the majority of the judges and referees, they have never fought, they have never laced the gloves before. You know what I'm saying? So we need somebody that could be an advocate there, that has been through that storm.
If there was any kind of movement that you wanted to start, I'm certainly not against being a part of that. But all of those decisions, it all goes down to the athletic commissions. It's not the UFC. It's the athletic commission that govern the rules, that put the referees in place, that choose the judges. It's all down to the athletic commissions. I don't have a dialogue with those guys. As I say, if you wanted to start something, I'm not against being a part of that 100%, Henry, because I have been through it. So I would help you for sure. But as I say, people think it's the UFC. They're just the sport. They're the promoter. It's the athletic commission, state by state. So it's going to be really hard getting any kind of rules changed. I think a rule should be implemented that we have to have a closed fist. Simple as that. And then you can open to catch and grab and grapple, or at least like that. What's so hard about doing that as opposed to that? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, Henry, you're going to be okay. I am sorry that went down like that, because a guy of your caliber doesn't deserve that. Thanks for coming on today, because I thought we got to hear your side, because you know what everyone's going to be saying. You know what everyone's going to say in the comment section of this episode. If you had one message to anyone that's talking shit in the comments down below right now, what would that be?
That you guys could all bend the knee to King Triple.
There we go. That's the perfect way to end it. There it is. Henry, you little bastard. You ever talk shit about my eye in the octagon again? I'll pop your other eye. Get out of here.
Later, guys. Salute.
Thanks, Henry.
Hey, buddy.
You're the man, dude.